Title: Mitchell the Otter, Class 10 English Chapter 6, Summary, Explanation and NCERT Solutions. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only. The content is based on the NCERT syllabus and aims to help students understand and learn effectively. All rights for the textbook content remain with NCERT. Summary in English. The story Mitchell the Otter by Gavin Maxwell is a fascinating account of the author's experience of keeping an otter as a pet. After the death of his pet dog, Maxwell found it difficult to live without an animal companion. While he was in Iraq, he thought about keeping an otter instead of a dog, as his home in Camus Ferna, surrounded by water, seemed like the perfect place for it. A friend suggested that otters could be found in the Tigris marshes, and soon, Maxwell was gifted one. The otter, whom he named Mitchell, was initially shy and aloof but gradually became comfortable. He was extremely playful and intelligent, showing immense joy when introduced to water. He would splash around in the bathtub and play endlessly with objects like marbles and rubber balls. Mitchell quickly learned how to turn on taps and loved making a mess with water. Taking Mitchell to England was a major challenge for Maxwell. The airline had strict rules requiring the otter to be kept in a small box. When left alone in the box for a short while, Mitchell panicked and injured himself. During the flight, he managed to escape, causing chaos inside the airplane. Passengers were startled, and one even mistook him for a rat. Fortunately, the kind and understanding air hostess helped Maxwell retrieve Mitchell and allowed him to sit with him for the rest of the journey. Once in London, Mitchell adjusted to city life in his own way. He developed unique habits, such as running along a school wall every day and inventing games with objects like ping-pong balls. He would carefully roll marbles on his belly and play for hours. However, many people in London did not recognize what kind of animal he was. Some thought he was a baby seal, others guessed he was a beaver or even a walrus. The most amusing reaction came from a laborer, who, looking utterly confused, asked, "What is that supposed to be?" The story beautifully captures the bond between Maxwell and his pet. It also highlights the playful, intelligent, and affectionate nature of otters, showing that animals can form deep connections with their human caretakers. हिंदी में व्याख्या. मिचेबल द ओटर कहानी लेखक गेविन मैक्सवेल के एक अनोखे अनुभव को दर्शाती है, जब उन्होंने अपने पालतू कुत्ते की मृत्यु के बाद एक ऊदबिलाव को अपना पालतू बनाया. वे इराक गए थे, जहां उन्हें अपने दोस्त से मिचेबल नाम का एक ऊदबिलाव मिला. चूंकि उनका घर कैम्सफरना पानी से घिरा हुआ था, इसलिए उन्हें लगा कि यह ऊदबिलाव पालने के लिए एक आदर्श स्थान होगा. शुरुआत में मिचेबल काफी शर्मीला और शांत था, लेकिन कुछ ही समय में वह पूरी तरह से चंचल और जिज्ञासु बन गया. उसे पानी से बहुत लगाव था और बाथटब में खेलना बहुत पसंद था. उसने जल्दी ही नल खोलना भी सीख लिया और हर जगह पानी फैलाने में मजा लेने लगा. मिचेबल को इंग्लैंड ले जाना आसान नहीं था. एयरलाइन के नियमों के अनुसार उसे एक छोटे से डिब्बे में रखना अनिवार्य था. जब मैक्सवेल थोड़ी देर के लिए उसे उस बॉक्स में छोड़कर बाहर गए, तो मिचेबल डर गया और खुद को चोट पहुंचा ली. फ्लाइट के दौरान जब बॉक्स खोला गया, तो मिचेबल तेजी से बाहर निकलकर विमान में इधर उधर भागने लगा. यात्रियों में अफरा तफरी मच गई. एक महिला ने तो उसे चूहा समझकर जोर से चिल्ला दिया. सौभाग्य से, विमान परिचारिका, एयर होस्टेस, बहुत समझदार और दयालु थी. उसने मैक्सवेल को मिचेबल को अपनी गोद में रखने की अनुमति दे दी. लंदन में मिचेबल ने नए परिवेश को अपनाना सीख लिया. वह हर दिन स्कूल की दीवार पर दौड़ता, जिससे वहां के बच्चे और शिक्षक हैरान रह जाते. उसने अपने खेलने के लिए खास तरीके खोज लिए, जैसे कि पिंग पोंग गेंदों और कंचों को अपने पेट पर लुढ़काना. परंतु लंदन के लोग उसे पहचान नहीं पाए और उसे कभी सील, कभी बीवर तो कभी वारस समझने लगे. सबसे मजेदार वाकया तब हुआ जब एक मजदूर ने आश्चर्य और उलझन भरे भाव से पूछा, "ये क्या चीज है?" ये कहानी हमें जानवरों की बुद्धिमत्ता, उनकी मित्रता और उनके प्रति प्रेम और देखभाल की आवश्यकता को दर्शाती है. Oral comprehension check, page 9, 81 to 87. Question 1. What experiment did Maxwell think Camus Ferna would be suitable for? Answer. Maxwell believed that Camus Ferna, being surrounded by water, would be a perfect place to keep an otter as a pet instead of a dog. He thought it would be an interesting experiment to raise an otter in such an environment. Question 2. Why does he go to Basra? How long does he wait there, and why? Answer. Maxwell went to Basra to collect his mail from England. Unfortunately, due to delays in communication, he had to wait for 5 days. First, his mail did not arrive, then the telephone exchange was closed due to a religious holiday, and later, there was a technical breakdown. Question 3. How does he get the otter? Does he like it? Pick out the words that tell you this. Answer. Maxwell's friend gifted him an otter from the Tigris marshes. When the sack was opened, the otter emerged like a medieval dragon, covered in mud armor. Yes, he liked it very much. The words that show his fondness are: 1. With the opening of that sack began a phase of my life that has not yet ended, and may, for all I know, not end before I do. 2. This indicates that the otter became a very important part of his life. Question 4. Why was the otter named Maxwell's otter? Answer. The otter belonged to a new species, which was not previously known to science. Later, zoologists studied it and named it Lutrogale puspacillata maxwelli, after Gavin Maxwell, making it Maxwell's otter. Question 5. Take the right answer. In the beginning, the otter was aloof and indifferent, wrong friendly, right aloof and indifferent, right hostile. At first, Midge Beale was not aggressive but kept his distance from Maxwell. However, later he became comfortable and affectionate. Question 6. What happened when Maxwell took Midge Beale to the bathroom? What did it do 2 days after that? Answer. When Maxwell took Midge Beale to the bathroom, the otter went wild with joy. It splashed and played in the bathtub, behaving like a small hippo. Midge Beale enjoyed diving and making water splash all over the place. 2 days later, Midge Beale escaped from the bedroom, ran towards the bathroom, and tried to open the water tap by himself. Surprisingly, he succeeded in turning it on, proving how intelligent and curious he was. Oral comprehension check, page no. 85 to 87. Question 1. How was Midge to be transported to England? Answer. Maxwell had to transport Midge Beale to England by airplane. However, the British airline did not allow animals, so he booked a flight to Paris on a different airline. The airline had strict rules that required Midge Beale to be packed inside a box, which could not be larger than 18 inches square and had to be placed on the floor at Maxwell's feet during the journey. Question 2. What did Midge do to the box? Answer. Midge Beale did not like being confined inside the box. While Maxwell was away for a short time, Midge Beale panicked and tried to escape. In the process, he scratched and bit the box, injuring himself. When Maxwell returned, he saw that blood had dried on the air holes, and Midge Beale was exhausted and whimpering inside. Question 3. Why did Maxwell put the otter back in the box? How do you think he felt when he did this? Answer. Maxwell had no choice but to put Midge Beale back in the box because they were getting late for the flight. He tried to remove any sharp edges from inside the box to prevent further injuries. Since the airport was 5 miles away, he had to hurry. Maxwell felt terrible and guilty for putting Midge Beale back into the box, knowing that it had already caused him distress and injury. However, he had no other option because missing the flight would have complicated their journey even more. Question 4. Why does Maxwell say the air hostess was the very queen of her kind? Answer. When Maxwell boarded the plane, he was very worried about Midge Beale, but the air hostess turned out to be extremely kind and understanding. Instead of strictly enforcing the airline rules, she listened to Maxwell's situation and even suggested that he keep Midge Beale on his lap instead of in the box. This act of kindness and empathy relieved Maxwell's stress-relieved face, and he deeply appreciated her generosity and compassion. That's why he called her the very queen of her kind. Question 5. What happened when the box was opened? Answer. The moment Maxwell opened the box, Midge Beale leaped out like a flash and ran wildly through the airplane. Passengers were shocked, and a woman screamed in panic, thinking it was a rat. Midge Beale darted under seats, causing complete chaos. At one point, he even ran past an Indian man wearing a turban, making Maxwell fall into a plate of curry while trying to catch him. Finally, the air hostess, with her calm and composed nature, helped bring Midge Beale back to Maxwell, putting an end to the hilarious commotion. Oral comprehension check, page no. 87 to 89. Question 1. What game had Midge invented? Answer. Midge Beale invented a unique game using a ping-pong ball. Maxwell had a damaged suitcase, where the lid was slightly sloped. Midge Beale discovered that if he placed the ball at the higher end, it would roll down. He would quickly run to the lower end to catch and ambush it, repeating the game for half an hour at a time. Question 2. What are compulsive habits? What does Maxwell say are the compulsive habits of? Answer. School children. Maxwell describes compulsive habits as repeated actions that people do automatically, without thinking much about them. He compares Midge Beale's actions to school children, who have small rituals during their walks to school. Some of their compulsive habits include 1. Stepping on the center of each paving block. 2. Touching every 7th iron railing. 3. Always walking to the outside of every second lamp post. Midge Beale the otter. Midge Beale also had his own compulsive habits. When Maxwell took him for walks in London streets, Midge Beale insisted on jumping onto a school wall near their house every time he returned home, but never while leaving. This action was a habit he could not resist, much like how children follow their own small rules. Question 3. What group of animals do otters belong to? Answer. Otters belong to the mustelid family, a group of animals that includes badgers, mongooses, weasels, stoats, minks. This family consists of small, carnivorous mammals, often known for their curiosity and playful nature. Question 4. What guesses did the Londoners make about what Midge was? Answer. The people of London were confused about what kind of animal Midge Beale was. They made several wrong guesses. Wrong baby seal, wrong walrus, wrong beaver, wrong bear cub, wrong leopard, one that had lost its spots. Wrong squirrel, wrong brontosaurus, dinosaur. The funniest guess was made by a laborer, who looked shocked and confused, and asked, "What is that supposed to be?" This moment shows how uncommon otters were as pets, and how playful and unique Midge Beale was. Thinking about the text, page no. 89 to 91. Question 1. What things does Midge do which tell you that he is an intelligent, friendly, and fun-loving animal who needs love? Answer. Midgebeal the otter shows remarkable intelligence, friendliness, and playfulness throughout the story. Some of his actions that prove this are: 1. He quickly learned to turn on the taps and enjoyed playing with flowing water. 2. He invented his own games, such as rolling marbles on his belly and playing with a ping-pong ball. 3. He was extremely curious and explored new things with excitement. 4. Midgebeal was very affectionate toward Maxwell. On the airplane, after escaping from his box, he nuzzled Maxwell's face, showing his love. 5. He adjusted well in London and even formed small habits, like running along the school wall every day. All these actions show that Midgebeal was not just a fun-loving pet but also an emotional and loving companion. Question 2. What are some of the things we come to know about otters from this text? Answer. The story gives us many interesting facts about otters. 1. Otters are playful and love water. 2. They belong to the mustelid family, which includes badgers, weasels, and mongooses. 3. Otters have strong problem-solving skills. Midgebeal figured out how to turn on the tap by himself. 4. They love to explore and interact with objects, such as balls, marbles, and rubber toys. 5. They can be trained to walk on a leash like dogs. 6. Otters form close bonds with humans and can be very affectionate. Through Midgebeal's adventures, we see that otters are smart, curious, and love attention. Question 3. Why is Midge's species now known to the world as Maxwell's otter? Answer. When Maxwell received Midgebeal, he wasn't aware that it belonged to a new species. Later, zoologists studied the otter and found that it was an undiscovered subspecies of smooth-coated otters. To honor Maxwell's discovery and love for otters, the species was named Lutrogale puspacillata maxwelli, commonly called Maxwell's otter. Question 4. Maxwell in the story speaks for the otter, Midge. He tells us what the otter feels and thinks on different occasions. Answer. Complete the table below to show Midgebeal's actions and Maxwell's interpretation of his feelings. What Midge does, how Midge feels or thinks. Plunges, rolls in the water and makes the water splosh and splash. Extreme joy. Midgebeal loves water and enjoys every moment playing in it. Screws the tap in the wrong way. Frustration. He gets annoyed when the tap doesn't work as expected and chatters in irritation. Nuzzles Maxwell's face and neck in the airplane. Affectionate and loving. Midgebeal is scared from his box experience and wants comfort from Maxwell. Midgebeal's emotions show that otters are intelligent, expressive, and deeply attached to their caretakers. Question 5. Read the story and find the sentences where Maxwell describes his pet otter. Then choose and arrange your sentences to illustrate those statements below that you think are true. Answer. Maxwell's descriptions of Midgebeal show different aspects of his personality. Here's how they relate to different statements. I makes Midge seem almost human, like a small boy. 1. Midgebeal was always curious, playful, and mischievous like a child exploring the world. 2. He developed habits, such as running along the school wall every day, just like kids following routines. E. Shows that he is often irritated with what Midge does. 1. Maxwell describes how Midgebeal tipped over water bowls and spread water everywhere in the house. 2. When Midgebeal tightened the tap the wrong way, he chattered in frustration, which irritated Maxwell. E. Shows that he is often surprised by what Midge does. 1. Maxwell was amazed when Midgebeal figured out how to turn on the water tap all by himself. 2. He was also shocked when Midge invented his own ping-pong game. IV. Midge's antics are comical. 1. The scene where Midge escaped on the flight, causing a woman to scream, a rat, is hilarious. 2. Maxwell describes Midgebeal juggling marbles on his belly as if performing a circus act. V. Shows that he observes the antics of Midge very carefully. 1. Maxwell closely studies Midgebeal's behavior, noting how he plays, explores, and reacts to situations. 2. He even observes Midgebeal's expressions and sounds, understanding when he is happy, frustrated, or excited. V. Shows that he thinks Midge is a very ordinary otter. Maxwell never considers Midgebeal ordinary. Instead, he finds his intelligence, playfulness, and personality remarkable. V. Shows that he thinks the otter is very unusual. The fact that Midgebeal was a newly discovered species makes him one of a kind. His ability to invent games, solve problems, and express emotions proves that he was not an ordinary otter. Thinking about the language, page no. 91 to 92. I. Describing a repeated action in the past. To talk about actions that happened regularly in the past, but do not happen anymore, we use would or used to. Examples from the text. Midge would follow me without a lead and come to me when I called his name. He would play for hours with a selection of toys. On his way home, Midge would tug me to this wall. Would is used for repeated actions, while used to is also used for past states or situations. Examples of used to for past states. When we were young, we used to believe there were ghosts in school. 30 years ago, more women used to be housewives than now. Exercise. Make as many correct sentences as you can using would and used to from the following table. Subject, verb, past, action, state. Emperor Akbar be fond of musical evenings. Every evening, we would take long walks on the beach. 50 years ago very few people owned cars. Till the 1980s Shanghai used to have very dirty streets. My uncle would spend his holidays by the sea. 2. Noun modifiers. A noun modifier is a word or phrase that gives more information about a noun. Examples from the text. An eminently suitable spot, adjective plus noun. His wide, flat belly, adjective plus noun. A ricocheting bullet, adjective plus noun. The dinner party, noun plus noun. A designer dress, noun plus noun. The car keys, noun plus noun. More than one noun can be used as a modifier. The Christmas dinner party, a silk designer dress, the frightfully expensive golden Maruti car keys. Exercise. Look at these examples from the text and say whether the modifiers in italics are nouns, proper nouns, or adjective plus noun. Phrase modifier type. An autofixation noun. The iron railings noun. The Tigris marshes proper noun. The London streets proper noun. Soft velvet fur adjective plus noun. A four-footed soccer player adjective plus noun. 3. Expressing quantities, uncountable nouns. Some nouns cannot be counted individually, so we use phrases like a bit of, a piece of, a bunch of, a cloud of, or a lump of to describe a quantity. Examples from the text. He shook himself, and I half expected a cloud of dust. Exercise 1. Match the words with the correct quantifier. Quantifier word. A portion of blood, a pool of water, flakes of snow, a huge heap of stones, a gust of wind, little drops of rain, a piece of cotton, a pot of gold. Exercise 2. Complete the sentences using the correct quantifier. 1. My teacher gave me some advice. My teacher gave me a bit of advice. 2. Can you give me some clay, please? Can you give me a lump of clay, please? 3. The information you gave was very useful. The information you gave was a piece of useful information. 4. Because of these factories, smoke hangs over the city. Because of these factories, a cloud of smoke hangs over the city. 5. 2 stones rubbed together can produce sparks of fire. 2 stones rubbed together can produce a few flakes of fire. 6. He gave me some flowers on my birthday. He gave me a bunch of flowers on my birthday. Poem. Fog, by Carl Sandburg, page no. 92-93. Summary in English. The poem, Fog, by Carl Sandburg is a short yet beautiful comparison of fog to a cat. The poet describes how the fog arrives silently and mysteriously, just like a cat walking on its soft paws. It sits over the harbor and city, watching everything quietly before moving on without a sound. This metaphorical poem captures the nature of fog, showing that it is calm, quiet, and unpredictable. Just like a cat, the fog does not rush but comes and goes at its own pace. The simplicity of words and imagery make this poem unique and powerful. The poem follows a free verse style, meaning it has no specific rhyme scheme. It uses personification and metaphor to compare the fog to a cat, making the poem visual and imaginative. हिंदी में सारांश. कविता फॉग कोहरा कार्ल सैंडबर्ग द्वारा लिखी गई एक छोटी लेकिन सुंदर कविता है जिसमें कोहरे की तुलना एक बिल्ली से की गई है। कवि बताते हैं कि कोहरा चुपचाप और रहस्यमयी ढंग से आता है, ठीक वैसे ही जैसे एक बिल्ली अपने मुलायम पैरों पर धीरे धीरे चलती है। कोहरा शहर और समुद्री बंदरगाह के ऊपर बैठकर शांत और गहरी नजर से सब कुछ देखता है और फिर धीरे धीरे बिना कोई आवाज किए आगे बढ़ जाता है। ये कविता कोहरे के स्वभाव को दर्शाती है, जो शांत, रहस्यमय और अप्रत्याशित होता है। इसे मुक्त छंद फ्री वर्स में लिखा गया है, जिसका कोई निश्चित तुकांत नियम राइम स्कीम नहीं है। इसमें अलंकार, पर्सोनिफिकेशन और मेटाफोर का प्रयोग किया गया है, जिससे कोहरे को एक जीवंत रूप बिल्ली में दिखाया गया है, जिससे कविता और भी कल्पनाशील और रोचक बन जाती है। Thinking about the poem, page no. 9-3. Question 1. What does Sandburg think the fog is like? Answer. Carl Sandburg compares the fog to a cat. He describes how the fog arrives quietly, sits silently, and then moves away mysteriously, just like a cat. Question 1. How does the fog come? Answer. The fog comes slowly and silently, just like a cat walking on its soft paws. It does not make any noise but appears suddenly and unexpectedly. Question 1. What does it in the third line refer to? Answer. The word it in the third line refers to the fog. The poet uses personification by giving the fog cat-like qualities, making it seem like a living thing. Question 1. Does the poet actually say that the fog is like a cat? Find 3 things that tell us that the fog is like a cat. Answer. No, the poet does not directly say that the fog is like a cat, but he uses a metaphor to compare them. 3 things in the poem that show the fog is like a cat are: 1. The fog comes on little cat feet, which suggests that it moves softly and quietly like a cat. 2. The fog sits looking over the harbor and city, just like a cat that sits still and watches things attentively. 3. The fog moves on without a sound, just like a cat that suddenly disappears without making noise. Question 2. Understanding metaphors. Answer. A metaphor compares two different things by transferring a quality of one thing to another. The poem uses a metaphor to compare fog to a cat. I find metaphors for the following words and complete the table below. Word metaphor: how they are similar. Storm tiger pounces, growls, and is wild. Train serpent long, winding, and moves fast. Fire hungry beast consumes everything in its path. School beehive busy, full of energy and activity. Home nest safe and comfortable place. Question 2. Write a poem comparing a storm to an animal. Answer. Example poem. The roaring lion. The storm roars like a mighty lion. Its fierce winds shake the trees. It pounces upon the rooftops, bringing thunder, rain, and freeze. But when its anger fades away, it rests like a sleeping cub. The sky turns clear and peaceful. No more howls, no more thud. Question 3. Does this poem have a rhyme scheme? Answer. No, the poem does not have a rhyme scheme. It is written in free verse, meaning it has no fixed pattern of rhythm or rhyme. Free verse poetry allows the poet to express ideas more naturally, just like Carl Sandburg does in Fog. The simplicity and imagery of the poem make it effective, even without a rhyme scheme. And that's all for today's session. We have covered chapter 6 Inches Mijbil the author, and the poem, Fog, in detail. We discussed English and Hindi summaries, answered question-answer solutions, grammar and language exercises, poetic devices and metaphors. We hope this video helped you understand the chapter better. If you found it useful, don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed the explanation. Share this video with your friends so they can learn too. Subscribe to Study Genius IQ for more NCERT solutions, summaries, and detailed explanations of every chapter. Comment below if you have any doubts or need further clarification. We love hearing from you. Thank you for watching. Keep learning and stay curious.